Hey guys, ChevyJP86 here, back again with another video, and in this video we're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep for the PSP. This is an action role-playing game. The PS2 brought out first and second Kingdom Hearts games, for those of you that haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts series. This is actually a good game to start out with, considering this is actually a prequel to those games. That'll be more explained throughout the story itself, and I'll let you guys kind of find that out yourself if you guys wish to go on playing this game. But a little on the story. This is a little more unique for storylines. You actually have 3 different characters that you can play through at one time. So there's Ventus, Terra, and Aqua, and they each have their own unique story that has to be told through their storyline that kind of meet up. Like, all 3 of them will meet up at key points of the game, and you'll see their story all the way up to that point in the game. So the first 10 minutes of each story is pretty much the same, and then it starts branching off from there, and then you learn their kind of unique story that they add to the game. So it's really neat that way. The other games didn't do that, and I kind of hold some props to this game right here for kind of taking that on, because it's pretty hard to do. Like, a lot of games don't do it because you have to keep the player involved with the game basically for 60 hours. And in doing so, you actually have to go through the worlds 3 different times over. So that's the one complaint that a lot of people have with the game, is that you do see the worlds 3 times over. But that being said, you also see different parts of the world 3 times over. It's not just the same part every single time. Each different character explores different avenues of that world. So that's kind of the neater thing about Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and that's what will actually keep you enthralled in the game for 60 hours. At least I've found myself not to get bored. There's some parts where you go, this again. And you do run into certain things that is just like, I don't even want to be in this world. But I mean, that's very minor. Once you get past that, I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy the game overall. So, that set aside, the gameplay mechanics are neat as well. The command system is something that you'd have to get used to. A lot of people are gonna kind of hem and haw in the beginning, but then you'll learn to love it. I, myself, enjoyed it all along because I known how to use the command system, just because it's somewhat kind of like Kingdom Hearts. It's Chain Memories. Not too many people played that one, but you could actually compare this a little bit to Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core as well, because it's different in the ways of actually doing the command with the X button. In this, you do all your magical commands with the triangle, and you cycle through them with the D-pad going up and down. Now, this is the kicker. When you're playing that game and you're trying to battle at the same time as keeping your character alive, it can be a little laborsome, considering you're trying to actually run around with the joystick, which is underneath the D-pad, and you're cycling through your commands up and down with your index fingers. So just imagine yourself playing it like this. Up and down, joystick. Sometimes it don't work. You can get it to work, but sometimes it don't work and you die a lot. I've found this out the hard way because being a newcomer into the PSP title, I've never played this before. And I mean, that being said, everybody's going to have that trouble. You get frustrated, and you get frustrated quick, because there's still some camera controls that aren't fixed in the Kingdom Hearts game, which I'm kind of surprised that they haven't fixed them completely, but minor detail. It can be looked past. But when you're trying to lock onto an enemy and you lock onto like a plant on the side of the stage that may hold some value to you, like when you hit certain plants and items in the world, they'll let money out, or you'll get health orbs and stuff like that. But when there's several enemies in front of you that you want to attack, you don't want to automatically lock onto the plant to the side when there's like 5 enemies right here trying to kill you. That can be a pain in the ass, and especially when you're trying to lock onto the enemy to keep out of its way so you can run around it and heal your character. It doesn't work when you lock onto the vase or something on the side, so that's kind of an annoying thing of the game. But all that set aside, the gameplay mechanics are very solid. Now, in the menus, this is where the game's complexities come out. You can actually put commands together and then add like an attribute to them as well. Like there's these crystals that are dropped throughout the worlds with enemies that you fight, and you can kind of mix them all together and it'll create a new command. So that's kind of the same system as Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core as well. You can take materia in that and mix them together, and you'll come up with something totally different too, depending on the materia that you mix. Now, that being said, the same system here, except it's with different commands, and you can add crystal attributes, whether you want, the crystal will have like HP max up, or there will be crystals that give you an extra combo hit. Those will add different attributes to your command that you're trying to make. And then you can equip them to your character, and then you level up commands separately from your character, so they'll level up in battles. It takes probably about, depending on the combat level and how far you are in the game, it'll take probably 4 or 5 battles to max out your ability, your new command. So it's not too bad that way. The game flows pretty quickly. There's maybe 50 levels that you can actually get up to in the game, because I beat the game with Terra at level 45 and I beat the game with Ventus at level 35. So I'd imagine you wouldn't have to get any further than 50, because you become pretty much a big powerhouse at around level 40. So stuff doesn't kill you that easy. It still can kill you, especially depending on the difficulty level, because yes, there is difficulty levels you can play on in this game. There's Proud mode, which is pretty hard. That's basically hard mode, and critical is like very hard. And that's the one that I played on my second playthrough, and it was a challenge and a half. So when they actually say that, you're definitely playing on critical mode. Now, all that stuff set aside, the worlds themselves that you go to are very nice looking. They're graphically sound and phenomenal to be in, and all the controls and platforming is there. The platforming in this title is actually better than the previous two, which is funny because it's a handheld. You'd think that they would actually kind of get that right on the PS2. They did with the second game, way better than the first. This one's, you'll notice right away that it's stepped it up once again. They just couldn't get the cameras right. The camera angles sometimes just kill you in the game. Literally, they do. They kill you. But the worlds themselves are a lot dumbed down. Like, they're small. Very small compared to any of the Kingdom Hearts worlds that you'll see on the PS2. But that's to be expected. It is a PSP title. You're not going to have extremely huge worlds to go to in a title on the PSP. So, and just because the graphics itself are like, they're top notch for a handheld. And another thing, the musical score, it's phenomenal. It's all orchestrated, none of it's MIDI, so that's taking up a lot of data right there as well. Now, the different worlds that you go to, there's all sorts of, there's probably about 10, maybe 15. It spans from Snow White to the Olympic Coliseum with Hercules. There's so many. I can't name them all right now. Disney Town. There's anyways, there's so many of them to go through. Now all those worlds all have their different themes, which is kind of key to the Kingdom Hearts franchise. I'm surprised they actually didn't have the Halloween one. That was like my favorite one out of all the worlds back previously. But in this one, they still keep it true. The worlds are there. They're just not as big. And it still keeps it fun as well, since the gameplay mechanics mixed in with the graphics. You'll have a good time. You can't go wrong with this game, especially if you're a fan of the franchise like I am. And even if you're not a fan yet and you're just getting into the Kingdom Hearts franchise itself, it's good to start out with this one. So highly recommended. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep for the PSP. Go out and grab a copy. You can get it for cheap now. If you don't want to get it, that's up to you. If you do, that's awesome. Anyways, guys, I am done. Out.